Life in Bukuma. The village of Bukuma was a small, peaceful community, surrounded by deep waters and thick forests. Life here was simple, fishing when the waters were high, farming when the waters went down, and using herbs for healing. There was no electricity, no phone calls, and no distractions from the outside world. The people lived as their ancestors had taught them, without envy for the luxuries of the city. Every year, when the river began to dry, the king, Chief Opaka, would call upon his town crier, Mr. Ordu, to announce the farming season. Ohui people of Bukuma, the river has gone down. The time to plant has come. Gather at the village square. The people respected Ordu because he was loyal, hardworking, and honest. He never failed in his duty. But unknown to him, danger was waiting, not from the waters, but from the king's own palace. The queen's hidden desire. In the palace, Queen Glory sat by her window, watching Ordu from a distance. Unlike other men in the village, Ordu was strong, disciplined, and focused. His deep voice commanded respect, and his tall, well-built frame made him stand out. But most importantly, he was different from her husband. The king was growing old, his belly full from years of feasting, and he no longer paid attention to the queen. She felt invisible. Day after day, Queen Glory watched Ordu as he carried out his duties. One day, she whispered to herself, "This man, he should be mine." The temptation. One evening, as Ordu was leaving the palace after receiving new announcements from the king, Queen Aini called him. "Ordu, wait." Ordu froze. The queen had never spoken to him directly before. "Come inside," she said, smiling. Ordu hesitated, but he respected the queen, so he obeyed. Inside, the room smelled of fresh flowers, and the flickering light from the oil lamp made the queen's face glow. She stepped closer, her eyes filled with something Ordu did not understand. "Ordu, you are a great man. You work so hard for this village. But who takes care of you?" Ordu swallowed hard. "My queen, I am only a servant of the king. I need nothing else." The queen touched his arm. "What if I told you that you deserve more? What if I told you that I can give you everything you have never had?" Ordu felt sweat on his forehead. "My queen, I must go." She grabbed his hand, her voice now urgent. "The king is old, Ordu. He does not love me anymore. But you are young, strong, and wise. Be with me, and I will make sure you never suffer again." Ordu's heart pounded like a village drum. If he agreed, he would have power, riches, and comfort. If he refused, he would offend the queen. But deep in his heart, he remembered the values his parents had taught him. "My queen, I cannot betray the king. I fear my gods too much." Ordu pulled away and rushed out of the palace. The queen's revenge. The next morning, the queen sat in the palace, filled with rage. How dare he reject me? She knew that if she told the truth, the king might forgive Ordu. But if she lied, Ordu would be punished. That afternoon, the queen ran to the king in tears. "My husband, Ordu has dishonored me. He tried to force himself on me when you were not around." The king's face darkened. His trusted servant, his loyal town crier. Could this be true? Without a trial, Ordu was dragged through the village like a criminal. "Lock him up," the king ordered. The villagers whispered in shock. How could Ordu, the honest one, do such a thing? No one knew the truth, except Ordu and the queen. The test of faith. Ordu was thrown into a small, dark hut, his hands tied with ropes. Days passed. He was hungry, weak, forgotten. Yet, in his suffering, he prayed, "The gods know my innocence. The gods will fight for me." One night, as he lay on the cold floor, a loud cry came from the palace. The king was sick. His belly swelled unnaturally. His body shook with fever. No herbalist could cure him. The chief priest, the eyes of the gods, was called from a distant land. After examining the king, the chief priest said, "This sickness is caused by the sins of the palace. Until the truth is revealed, the king will not be healed." The queen's face turned pale. The truth revealed. The next morning, with the whole village gathered at the palace, the prophet called Ordu to stand before the people. Ordu, did you do what the queen accused you of? Ordu raised his head in and said, No. The prophet turned to the queen. If you are lying, may the gods punish you. The queen's body began to shake. Sweat poured from her forehead. She fell to her knees, screaming, Forgive me. It was all a lie. Gasps filled the air. The truth was out. Ordu was freed. The queen was banished to the forests, never to return. And the moment she left, the king's sickness disappeared. A new beginning. The king, now weak but grateful, looked at Ordu. You have proven yourself more righteous than all of us. From today, you will not just be my town crier. You will be my right hand, my chief advisor. The villagers cheered, and life in Bukuma continued. Though Ordu suffered, he never lost his faith. His honesty saved him, and the lesson was clear. A man of truth may suffer, but in the end, the gods will always fight for him. To be continued in next episode.
Please like, comment, and share this video. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. It's absolutely free. Your support means the world to us. Thank you.